Hello, and welcome to CinePhellas. That's right, CinePhellas, the only place where if Mr. T were to set up the Ninja Turtles on a blind date, he would say April Fools. Yeah, so we're here to talk about the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know about you guys, but I've been a fan of Ninja Turtles like ever since I was a kid. I grew up with the comics, the cartoon, obviously, the 2003 cartoon, and I love it. I don't know if you guys have that nostalgia for Ninja Turtles.
Oh, absolutely. The one in the 90s, I got all the trading cards that came. There were packs. I had all, I think it was like 120 or something. All the toys, all the just yeah, my whole childhood has been Turtles. Then I've read the comics, and yeah, I've been a fan forever.
Yeah, same here. I had little toys, everything, my clothes, my bed sheets, everything was turtles. Now, look at before we start the review, I just want to ask, who is your favorite one?
Oh, Raphael.
Raphael? Nile?
Yeah, I gotta go with Raphael too, yeah. And it's funny you guys say you had the toys, because I still have them. Like I never grew up.
Oh yeah, they're in my attic, but yeah, they're here, but I don't play with them anymore.
Yeah, my parents sold mine in a garage sale when I was a kid. So
Oh, that's terrible.
right?
It's child abuse. No, I'm kidding.
You should have really took them on Oprah. I would have got that shit back in spades.
But yeah, I'm a Donatello fan. I've always been a Donatello fan.
Yeah, I felt
I see you
Mikey
with
was too
Donatello.
cliche, and for no reason, the ooze all of a sudden made him a surfer dude. I don't know. I didn't get it.
What did you guys think
All
of
right.
the Michael Bay ones? Do you hate them or?
Ugh. I don't like them.
Well, I think the first one's okay. The second one just is it's too Michael Bay. It's a Michael Bay movie. It's not really
Well,
Turtles.
the first one I don't mind. I thought the design of the turtles was horrendous, and I
Yes.
thought Megan Fox was passable. But that's sequel. You know why I obviously hate it, right?
Stephen
What's
Amell.
the what?
Tyler Perry's in it.
Oh, he's Baxter Stock. That's right.
Oh yeah.
I
hated
forgot
that sequel.
about that.
Holy
And then you
crap.
have Stevie's dad and Seamus, and I'm like, who put these two together?
No,
Yeah.
I think what's his Steve Amell was bad as Casey Jones.
I
Yeah, he was
like a
too
lot of
polished.
Stephen Amell things, but yeah, that was one that just wasn't.
Yeah, you needed someone with like attitude and edge, and I love Steve Amell, but he doesn't have that he doesn't have edge to him. It's pretty clean cut.
Exactly. Like he was too pretty. Like Casey Jones is supposed to have like bashed up, just he's supposed to be scar tissue and just anger.
Yeah. We're just like look at Rocker, the guy who played him in the movie.
The very first one.
Yeah, that guy was good. That guy looked like him. He had the attitude and everything. But
He had the
yeah.
Brooklyn accent too.
Yes.
Just the sarcasm, all that. Like, I mean, the cartoon, I always got more serial killer vibes from Casey Jones, but it's neither here nor there.
So, what's the overall opinion of this one?
Well, Kevin, before we get into this one, I just want to say let's have a little clip of the trailer.
Yep.
Son, Michelangelo, you have heart. Donatello, you have wisdom. Raphael, you have bravery. And Leonardo, honor.
Enough talk! I dream about fighting every night!
You've got a rage problem, right?
It's not a problem!
All right, well, that looks pretty turtle enough for the Turtle Club. I don't know what you guys feel about this movie. One thing I feel like we don't really talk about when it comes to movies is the soundtrack. And I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love this soundtrack because it's a mixture of like synth music and like old school hip hop music. I thought the soundtrack was awesome.
It's not a surprise because I don't know if I didn't know this until the credits roll, but it's Reznor and Atticus Ross, the guys who did Social Network, Go with the Dragon Tattoo. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the non-musical part of the movie, I'm like, this is great. Then I saw their names. I'm like, yep, that's why it's great.
Yeah, I've been a Trent Reznor fan since I was a teenager. I listened to Nine Inch Nails, stuff like this. But yeah, they're absolutely amazing. The mix of synth music and even old school hip hop, to me, it was a throwback, almost not throwback. It's not even a big throwback, but Into the Spider-Verse had a similar thing where it had hip hop along with like just I don't know. I got a lot of the same vibe with it. Obviously, Spider-Verse had like actual newer hits, where this one didn't. This one had old school stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more old school because that's what Seth Rogen, the producer, obviously grew up with probably when he was a teenager. So that's what he kind of probably wanted in the movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially when I feel like you're dealing with, with teenage, all that, not able to get that much music. So you would assume that old school music is the only way he could get in his tape deck, because if I remember correctly, he still has a Walkman.
He does? What year is it?
He had headphones on. I could have sworn it was Walkman. I could absolutely be wrong. Yeah, this one is I loved it.
There were certain aspects I really liked about it, and there were certain things I didn't like about it. But overall, it was good, and I'm looking forward to see where this universe is. And the first thing that this movie does right is casting actual kids in the role. It just the energy is different versus Michael Bay's or the one from the '90s, where the one from the '90s was the little actors in suits with adult voices. Bay's was they were like in their 20s, right? All those guys when they did that. Yeah, like the vibe is totally different and it's more believable. And as I said, I'm looking forward to growing with these characters because I don't know about you guys, but I said I was a Donatello fan, but I thought this movie was very good at portraying the struggle and like the responsibility of becoming a leader. And that's why Leonardo was great in this movie. I really liked Leonardo in this movie.
Yeah, and they plan on doing this as a trilogy where we grow up with the turtles. Like, let's say in this one they're like 13 or 14. Maybe in the next one they're 16, and then in the third one they're 18. So I like that idea of that we're growing with them.
Oh, it's only gonna be 3?
Yeah, that's what I heard. But you know how it is.
Because I was figuring like, it would be cool if each movie would cover like one turtle. Like this one was mostly Leonardo's story. Maybe next one will be like Mike's story and Donnie's and Raphael's. But I know they're doing like a TV series, right, on Paramount.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna go off and do a whole bunch of stuff with this.
Is it the same team on the TV? Is it the same production team and all that doing the show on Paramount, or is that completely different uncanon universe?
No, I think it's the same people.
Really?
Cast and everything. Yeah. So these kids are set for life. If that's that's the thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
One of my favorite things they did, besides obviously, I mean, Kevin, you're absolutely dead on. They put all the kids in the same room and let them improv and talk over each other and use their excitement in there. So it actually felt like siblings yelling. It felt like you felt the excitement whenever they were out and about. You heard the sarcasm, you heard the teasing. Like you said, it brought into what teenagers, like what young teens would be doing to each other.
Yeah. I have cousins around this age, and a lot of the humor, like I'm a teacher, so I can keep up with like the fads and the jokes, and I thought it was nicely injected into this movie. There was a lot of like slang and jokes that like only kids would know, and I thought it was perfectly placed into the movie.
And how did you guys feel about the animation? Obviously, I don't want to say, oh, it's like Spider-Verse because everybody's saying that, but that movie, The Mitchells versus the Machines?
Yeah, these are the same people who did it, right?
Yeah, the same animators, and I just love the animation, but I don't want to say it's like Spider-Verse. I don't know if you guys got this, but it looks like New York graffiti, obviously, because they're in New York, but it actually looks like the drawings a teenager would do when he's bored in class and he's just doodling in his notebook or something.
And I like the broken line stuff. Like I obviously have part of it behind me. Like the broken line stuff. Like the lines aren't fluid and hard, like they're more sketched up, like you said, where there's cracks, there's imperfections. I put it as not gritty, but unfinished, unpolished. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know, it felt like a comic book.
I think they did that on purpose because it's like no offense, Kevin, but it's like that gritty New York, like that style that New York is known for, where it's like a little dirty, a little unfinished, and I thought it worked for the movie though.
That's an observation. That's not an insult.
I was going to say, you make it sound like when you say gritty New Yorker, you don't picture Kevin.
Yeah, but listen, I'm the grittiest guy in New York.
Exactly. I was thinking Soprano-esque.
Yes. But one of the things I also liked about the movie was what's over. It's on Bob's right shoulder, our left. I really, really liked April O'Neil in this movie. I thought they gave her a lot of depth. They gave her a lot of lines. I forgot the actress's name. She's from The Bear. Does anyone know what offhand?
Yeah, she's the sous chef. She's been in a couple things. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
I like, not only did they give April, and April's their age, which I really appreciated, but I also like the fact that April was a misfit as well. April was teased. So you have these people all trying to find their own spot and coming together. I really like, it was a family thing, you know, it was, we're all coming through this together. I think it's setting up for a beautiful trilogy, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what they did with April too, and I don't want to spoil the movie, but there's something at the end of the movie where it's like puke girl written on her locker, and then they crossed off puke, and it's like April O'Hero. I'm like, oh, that was actually a sweet moment. And
I'm
I
not
know what
gonna
people are
lie,
gonna
didn't
say,
think
like,
we'd see the puke stuff.
no, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, that puke stuff, it did make me laugh, and I was like, oh, I was expecting that in a kids movie. But I actually like April O'Neil a lot in the movie, way more than Megan Fox. Megan Fox was just
Oh yeah, that's
cardboard on the screen. But with her, it's like, you know, she's gonna grow with the turtles, and she actually has depth to her because what was the original April O'Neil like? Just
She was a
the turtles wanted
reporter.
to jerk off to her.
yeah. She was cute, and you know, she was more of a damsel with distress. This April O'Neil, you know, can take care of herself. She has it. She aspires to be a journalist, and as I said, she has snappy dialogue. And
There was not a lot of flack on any of this casting or any of the way any of this was drawn, and I found that to be a big relief. Especially nowadays, people get upset about anything and everything, and I love that this was left alone in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, you might know about this, but wasn't April O'Neil like originally, I don't want to say black, but wasn't she like clearly a woman of color in the comics?
I believe so. And then they made her white in the cartoon, white in all this. And then yeah, it wasn't like Misty Knight, but it was close to it. Also, you had Kevin Eastman, who is one of the creators. He signed off on this. He helped make this, and I think that's why we had more of a genuine feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But also in the source material, they all wore the same bandana, same color bandana, and like just flat out murdered people. So
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Bob. That is something that, you know, I know this is a kids movie, but the original Ninja Turtles was very dark. Even that 1990 movie, it had like where they were hidden in the shadows. Even the 2003 cartoon, it was funny, but it was dark. This is actually, I think, on the lighter side of things. This is not dark at all, which I don't know how you feel about that.
if they were gonna make it dark, you have to commit. And while I think the old Eastman Laird comics were good dark, it doesn't translate to the screen well at all.
No,
We've
okay.
had Marvel heroes and stuff like that that are dark. Your Daredevil, your Punisher. Turtles, I don't think the Turtles belong in as a dark story because I couldn't believe it as that. You know what I mean? It's not going to hit. I mean, we're going to watch it because we're film nerds. We love the Turtles, but they don't make the movie for us. They make the movie to engage someone who hasn't been part of it. And I don't think anyone gravitates to a dark turtle movie. I mean, Last Ronin, the comic, is dark and people gravitated towards it, but that was an older crowd. This is the moneymaker. There's toys, there's shirts, there's chips that my kids may or may not have bought like 3 bags of and gone through them far too fast. It's a disclaimer, it's pedos and it's all plant-based and junkless junk food, I think is their quote. So they eat the heck out of it. But no, this was made for kids with adults liking it.
Yeah, true. And it's very light. And it's not silly like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 from 91, but it has a good balance. I think it's pretty good. But one thing I'm not crazy about, honestly, this is where I kind of get in maybe my little nitpicks. I don't like how they're ninjas, and I don't like Splinter's story too much. I know they're changing things, and I don't mind that. But when it's like, oh, all we did was watch TikTok videos on how to be ninjas, I'm like, you're kind of missing the point of why they're Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, because it almost felt like Taibo Turtles. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't learn to be a ninja watching Tai Chi DVDs and stuff. Although not to say that the 90s was any more serious because you had a rat literally watching a master and doing the moves, which is one of my favorite scenes still. But
they did that in the 2003 cartoon too.
Oh yeah. So it's just like, well, all right. But I didn't like Splinter at all in this movie. Yeah, it sounds terrible, but I didn't like it. He came off as like
Idiotic.
Bruce Valanche. Like he's this overweight. Oh, you know what I mean? Kevin, thank God you got the reference, and I hope other people do. But like that's what it came off to me. It's just this big fat furry guy who just like it just bothered me. And what was here? They got gray out of nowhere. I don't even know what that is on a rat. His ears were here. There's these big gray things.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about the design of him either. He looked weird, as you just said.
They all got ooze at the same time, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were all in New York, correct?
Yeah.
Why did the ooze make Splinter talk in a stereotypical Asian accent when none of the other turtles have an accent at all? Did he learn to talk from those same videos that taught them Kung Fu?
Yeah, TikTok videos, yes.
It bothered me so much. That's the one thing that's always bothered me with Splinter.
Well, Bob, why does the fly sound like Ice Cube if he's a fly?
Because he's Superfly.
Super duper fly like Misty Ellie.
Okay, so can we get into again, this is the 90s kid in me and the cartoons. We got so many of my favorite villains from, I mean, we got Wingnut, we got Mondo Gecko, who I remember having that toy and putting it underwater because it would change colors. Like they brought in Leatherhead, like they brought in all of these obscure characters because they could. And I had a smile on my face ear to ear when they were like just Wingnut. That shouldn't exist at all. Like
I loved it, and I love the celebrity cameos they got for everyone, especially Leatherhead. Rose Byrne got to do her native Australian accent. But like I feel that kind of, I don't know, I kind of wanted to focus on one villain. I thought having all those people together and all the villains kind of like it became a little chaotic at points.
Yeah, you almost want them to be like, all right, we're focusing on this. All right, and in the next movie, they'll all come here in this. But at the same time, given the post-credit scene, I could see why they did it.
Yes, the post-credit scene would spoil it, but great sets up the future.
That and I'm excited to see who's next. Who else are we going to get from the Turtleverse? You know, I mean, there's so much stuff they have left to do. To make it a trilogy is going to be really interesting.
Well, how did you feel about Bebop and Rocksteady being, I don't want to spoil it, but affiliated differently with the Turtles?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. I was like, kind of like, oh, that's different.
Mm-hmm. They changed up a lot when it comes to like certain origins and stuff, and so I just put my mind as someone who knew nothing about the Turtles. As soon as they started deviating from what I was used to, I make a point to be more open-minded, and I go, okay, tell me what your Turtles do. And that was the way I was able to take a lot of it. Didn't save Splinter, but that's it. It made me appreciate the Baxter story and everything else. Like it made me appreciate the way they built everything up to an extent. And Ice Cube belongs in more animated movies.
He's just Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
If he's not in a Pixar movie in the next 5 years, we're all doing a disservice here.
By the way, if you come across Superfly, the action figure, anywhere, pick it up. It's very rare. It's very hard to find.
Yeah, I agree with Bob, but like, you know, I think it's just some of the changes. It's just like, you know, the old school in me because I grew up with the 90s cartoon. And yes, the changes were jarring, but with the talent involved, with the voice acting, the directing, the writing, everything, like I'm willing to see where all this goes. And I think it's going to be cool.
And Paul Rudd doing Mondo Gecko again.
Yes.
And partial that character. I was like, this is exactly what it was supposed to be. You know, like
he says bro more than Vince Russo, but it was funny.
I liked it. They played to every character's strength and made jokes when that character could make a joke or when they were able to. I thought that was my favorite part, was the fact that they allowed the humor to come naturally instead of force feeding it down our throats.
Yeah, and one other thing, just going back to Splinter, I really like how in this one he's literally like a dad, not just a trainer or a mentor, but like an actual father figure. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the throwing the prom. He's like, oh, look at this, Chris. Oh, this Chris. Which one's the best, Chris? Like stuff like that made me laugh because, like you said, that's the homeschooling dad or the helicopter parent father. But again, I just don't like. Yeah, I don't like the design. I'm not a huge Jackie Chan fan. I like his acting and stuff. Just him as a person, I'm not a fan of. So like,
Yeah, I know
it's
that could be a whole different video right there, Jackie Chan.
yeah, but like if I have to see him on screen, I like seeing him like do the fights and then the post-credit scene of him getting hurt the whole time. You're like, oh, it's a Jackie Chan film. So it was weird just to hear him. The pace. Did anyone else like really dig the pace? Like when it was supposed to be hectic, it moved like this. And when you're supposed to take in stuff, it moved almost in slow motion. It gave you every bit you needed, but then there were certain parts that were hectic. The origin, the flashback of why they go into the sewer, like all of that hit you. The sounds were too loud. Like you felt intimidated. Like I thought that was fantastic. And it really, I think, put a lot of the viewers into that situation where they could empathize with them. Like, oh, I would do this too. You know, like I think it really put the viewer first. And it's not a lot of movies, especially a movie aimed at kids. I don't think they put the viewer in the movie enough like this did.
But one thing too, I don't want to spoil the movie, but when they go to high school, which I'll ask you guys about that, but when they took off the mask, I'm like, oh, that's very symbolic. I actually did like that. So it's like for the first time ever, they get to show who they truly are. But how did you feel about them going to high school, though? I thought it was, once again, different, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, again, I'm an old school guy. They never went to high school in the cartoon,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to see where it goes.
Yeah, I feel like nothing is done on accident in this movie. Nothing was done with a loose hang. Yeah, everything was tied up. So I'm more than happy to see where they go from here. Putting a shirt over a shell really got me too. That was just had no reflection on anything in the movie. It's just something that I unfortunately thought about on my drive home.
And it's a way, in the future movies, though, the second one they'll be in high school. And it's a way to basically mess around with the personalities and everything that comes along with being a teenager. Like, obviously, there'll be a love interest, probably, like a girl in it. We may get up between like one or two, or maybe all of them.
I wonder if they're going to bring in, God, what was her name? Mona Lisa from the live action TV show they did. You remember that? Mona Lisa was a female turtle that Splinter ended up taking in.
I'm looking at it right now, and that is weird looking.
Yeah, it was freaking terrifying.
His hair, just human hair.
Yep.
What's going on here?
Although there was one thing that I loved, and they were talking about bringing in another turtle and naming him Kirby after Jack Kirby. So I really wanted them to do that for years. I don't think it's gonna be a thing, but there were rumors for years that they wanted to make a turtle and name him Kirby after like another great artist,
What character would you want to put in that wasn't in this movie?
Hmm.
I like the machine
Krang.
turtle.
Krang.
Krang?
I love Krang. I think that's one of my favorite villains. It's also why I love MODOK. Like you have all this brain, but your actual body can't do anything. And I like the big brain, no ability part where you need a sentient, if you will, like something to do your dirty work. Like I love Krang. I love if they go the way where he keeps getting frustrated at the body he's in. I think that would be a home run.
Body dysmorphia issues as a teenager, and they that.
He screams at the body the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I think it'd be great.
That's one toy I never got. I remember when Krang was in just like the basic like walking mechanism, like in the beginning of the Turtle show. Then he got that humanoid thing.
Yeah, I love the humanoid. He'd yell at it.
I never got that thing. That's the one toy I never got was a humanoid. I was pissed when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude, that was. Yeah, I like the character almost to the point where you kind of went, oh, that was where we got Meatwad from. But
you're right. Oh my god.
What about you, Kev?
Wasn't there like a turtle, or like not Toku and Reza? There was another turtle, like maybe a turquoise skin turtle.
Oh yeah, and he had odd teeth.
Yes,
and his what was his name? Yeah, he was like
guy.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. What are you, Nile? Well, he was set up.
I'd bring Hun. Remember Hun from the 2003 cartoon, especially with the way this movie ended? I'm like, he would fit. Like, if it's going once again in that darker approach, yeah, I would try and bring in that character again. Maybe Vincent D'Onofrio to do the
Oh, that's a
voice.
good one. They should have with the foot soldiers that Shredder is most likely going to have in the future movies. They should have Sam Rockwell voice one of those foot soldiers. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be badass, yeah.
Yeah, like a little throwback. And talk about cigarettes. So I think that's what his dialogue was in the 90s movie. Something about cigarettes.
Slash.
Yes, Slash. That's
He was
it.
in the 2012 series, but not the way he should have been. He was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Google
looking
Slash on that. And
Smash what?
yeah, you got to Google Slash the way he was in the comics and then the way he was put in to the show. But yeah, that would be a cool character to do.
That's what I was thinking about.
It's funny you mentioned Slash. I got to show you guys something after the video.
Okay.
I actually think Slash would be an amazing addition, considering the fact that they're trying to be normal, they're trying to feel this, and then if you were to bring in Slash, someone who would look like them, where they'd immediately want to, oh, you're just like us, and then have that fit. Like, I think that could be a really cool story arc.
And he's around their age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's a good. There you go.
I like the Sam Rockwell thing. That works really well.
Yeah, just like one. He doesn't have to be in like multiple scenes. Just like one scene as a foot soldier.
It's funny you mentioned Slash because you thought I was kidding with these turtle toys, but this is Slash right here. It's a NECA figure.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know those NECA figures existed.
Yeah, they do, and they're amazing.
Yeah, they are. I've never seen them.
You got to hit up Target, Bob. No.
Man Ray. God, that was a freaking Hannibal Buress. No, that wasn't Hannibal Buress. That was Post Malone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Man
It
Ray.
was? Oh.
No,
Yeah, that's why I kept singing.
that was
And then I got this from Target. This is I don't know if you guys remember this.
Mutant.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Where you would flip the thing and it'd go from a little turtle and the head would pop out, and yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and he's like a little obese, but yeah, it looks good.
Man, I didn't know those were hitting Target. I'll have to go look, especially for that NECA one. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, they had a NECA shredder and everything. Like you thought I was kidding with those turtle toys. I never grew up, I'm telling you.
Here, I didn't know. Nile, you might know this. Do you know where the ooze came from in the comics?
I always assumed it was like, I don't know, like, yeah, well, tell me what it is.
So the ooze is what the ooze fell from a truck. The truck was driving, and the truck almost hit a kid named Matt Murdock, who they splashed stuff on, and the ooze fell down the sewer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so they paid homage to it by calling it the Foot Clan, when in Daredevil, the ninjas are called the
hand. Okay,
wow.
Yeah.
So that was a nod. Kevin Eastman went with that, and I forgot who tied it together. I think there was a crossover or something where they brought it up, but yeah, I always thought that was great, was the fact that that was the ooze that splashed onto Matt Murdock, which gave Matt Murdock some powers, and what ended up tipping over and going down in the sewer, and that's how it went. It was an old, I can't remember. I was about 13 years old and I heard that in a comic shop, and then I can't remember where the rest of it went, but yeah, it's been like this. I don't remember if they officially said it was canon or not, but like, I always thought it was a cool idea.
No, I love that idea, actually. I did not know that. Yeah, so Bob, what would you rate it?
I give it 4.5 out of 5. I honestly think, obviously not best animated movie of the year, but I'll be honest, this was damn good. It's a movie that I know I'll be able to rewatch as many times as I know my kids are going to make me. So, like, I'm stoked. I'm here for it. Yeah, Seth Rogen did a good job.
For me, I want to give it a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it and I was never bored. But I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 only because towards the end, I felt like it dragged just a little bit, like that whole thing when he became like a mega super fly. I'm like, I don't know if we really needed that in all fairness, but I don't mind it. But I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. But I love the movie and I'm gonna watch this again. I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray. And truthfully, I think this is the best Ninja Turtles movie since the 1990. And in some ways, I think it's better than that 1990 version. So I would put this. So if I had to rate the Ninja Turtles movie, it would be maybe the 1991. Then like right here is Mutant Mayhem, and then from there probably Ninja Turtles 2 and then Michael Bay would care about that shit.
You forgot Turtles in Time now.
Oh, even as a kid, I didn't like that movie. They looked
It's better
weird.
than
They looked
Michael
like they had
Bay's.
leprosy. Well, yes, but they looked weird, and that whole Wet Willy thing. And even as a kid, I'm like, what is this?
They
I
got
had
no
that on
ears.
VHS and I threw it away.
Oh yeah,
They
so
looked like they had leprosy. Looked awful.
I'm gonna give this one 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yes. As I said, there were problems I have with this movie. I didn't like Splinter. I thought he was very annoying. I didn't like Jackie Chan. I thought, as Nile just said, it dragged, and I found it a little weird during that whole time Superfly became like a kaiju, that like there were no police around them, or there was, the police weren't there. No, like, did you notice that there was no army, there was no police, there was no one in the streets?
See, to me, that's the most realistic thing. Ain't no way a cop is showing up to they're gonna look at their guns and go, "We got none." They're gonna run just like all of us.
But
No,
as
I was going to
said,
say it's New York. Just a guy in Timberlands and a tank top will take care of the whole situation.
But as I
Well, I
said,
mean, they had firefighters there. They were helping, weren't they? Weren't
yeah, spring
firefighters
water.
helping?
Yeah, great. But as I said, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do with this. It's better than Michael Bay's movies. And I don't remember the 2003 one that much, or no, I'm sorry, 2007 one. I don't remember that one that well.
That one was very forgettable. I remember seeing that in theaters, and it's like I know I'm going to forget this movie in a year or two, and I did. I completely forgot about it. We didn't even mention it during this review.
There you go. But the first one is still from the 90s. That's me. That's my thing. But overall, I like this movie. I know 3 seems low, but I liked it. Don't make I don't want our viewers to think I didn't like this one.
All right, so that I guess does it for the Mutant Mayhem review. Feel free to tell us what you think of the movie and tell us your favorite Ninja Turtle as well. So, Kev, Bob, until next time, what do the CinePhellas always say?
Cheers.
Cheers
Cheers.
if I show up with the turtles.